Have you ever wondered why some marine organisms travel long distances through the ocean? You are watching AWP Marine Science. In this video, we will explore the incredible world of migration in marine organisms. From finding food and mates to avoiding predators, we'll discover the many reasons why these creatures journey through the ocean's depths. We'll also delve into the fascinating ways in which marine organisms navigate their way through the three-dimensional environment of the ocean, using everything from magnetic fields to mental maps. Migration is the seasonal movement of animals from one place to another. It is a common behavior in many species, including birds, fish, mammals, and even insects. The reasons for migration can vary depending on the species, but some common reasons include finding food. Many marine organisms migrate to find food. For example, the humpback whale migrates from cold, nutrient-rich waters in the poles to warmer waters in the tropics where they can find large amounts of food. The Pacific salmon also migrates to spawn in freshwater streams where their offspring. Finding mates. Migrating to find a mate is also a common reason for migration in marine organisms. For instance, green sea turtles migrate from feeding grounds to breeding grounds where they mate and lay their eggs. Leatherback turtles, on the other hand, can travel up to 10,000 miles to mate and lay their eggs. Moving to a different habitat to reproduce. Another reason for migration in marine organisms is to move to a different habitat to reproduce. For example, herring travel from the ocean to freshwater streams to spawn. Similarly, eels migrate from freshwater to saltwater habitats to spawn. Avoiding predators. Lastly, migration can help marine organisms avoid predators. For example, many species of fish, such as tuna and salmon, migrate to avoid predators like sharks and sea lions. Additionally, some marine mammals, such as seals and sea lions, migrate to avoid predators like killer whales. Three-dimensional migration. Migration of marine organisms occurs in a three-dimensional environment, which means that organisms may move horizontally or vertically through the water column. Some organisms migrate over short distances, while others travel vast distances across the ocean. Vertical migration is a common strategy used by many marine organisms, such as zooplankton, fish, squid, and shrimp. These creatures move up and down the water column to access food, avoid predators, or regulate their body temperature. For example, some organisms may move to shallower depths during the day to find food in the sunlight zone, and then migrate deeper at night to avoid predators in the twilight zone. Horizontal migration, on the other hand, involves traveling over long distances across the ocean. Many marine animals undertake epic journeys, such as sea turtles, whales, and certain species of fish, to find food or breeding grounds. These migrations may span thousands of miles and require incredible stamina and navigation skills. In both cases, migration in the ocean is influenced by a variety of environmental factors, such as currents, temperature, and salinity. Understanding these factors is key to predicting and managing the movements of marine organisms, which is important for conservation efforts and the sustainable use of marine resources. Many marine organisms undertake daily vertical migration between the twilight zone and sunlight zone to access food and avoid predators. In the sunlight zone, organisms can use photosynthesis to produce their own food, while in the twilight zone they rely on consuming other organisms. At night, predators in the twilight zone migrate to the surface to feed, so organisms in the sunlight zone move deeper to avoid them. During the day, organisms in the twilight zone move up to the sunlight zone to feed and gain energy for the night ahead. Some organisms, such as tuna, turtles, and whales, undertake very long horizontal migrations to find food, breed, or seek more favorable environmental conditions. To navigate such vast distances, these animals use a variety of sensory cues, including some marine animals, such as sea turtles, can sense the Earth's magnetic field and use it to navigate. By detecting changes in the magnetic field, they can determine their location and orientation. Many marine animals use celestial cues, such as the position of the sun, moon, and stars, to navigate. By detecting changes in the angle of the sun or the position of the stars, they can determine their direction and location. Some marine animals, such as sharks, can detect the scent of prey over long distances using their sense of smell. They can follow scent trails to find food or breeding grounds. Some marine animals, such as whales, dolphins, and sea turtles, are thought to use mental maps or landmarks to navigate. By remembering the location of important features, such as seamounts or coastal features, they can find their way over long distances. As we've seen, migration in marine organisms is a complex and fascinating phenomenon. Whether it's the daily vertical migration of tiny plankton or the epic horizontal journeys of sea turtles and whales, these creatures are constantly on the move, adapting to the challenges of the ocean and striving to survive and thrive. By understanding the reasons behind migration and the strategies used by different organisms, we can gain a deeper appreciation for the incredible diversity and complexity of life in the ocean. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to AWP Marine Science.